the consciousness of going to the breath is what takes us out of our fight or flight, which we are constantly in. Even if we don't have and feel like we're in this big spike, it's just kind of this low level. Our nervous system is like tight, right? We just kind of feel anxious all the time. And it's just this slow undercurrent always there. When we take time to be with our breath, that dissolves. And when that dissolves, we actually turn off that system, that sympathetic system, and go into the parasympathetic, like you said. That is where healing can happen. Healing cannot happen in a sympathetic state, especially when you're constantly in it all the time. I'm busy and I feel like I'm happy and this is what I should want. I get to the end of the year, I just about crest 6 figures, and I'm sitting there looking at all of my spreadsheets and looking at the money that I've made and where did half of that go already. And I felt so empty. I had superseded my goal. I had met my goal by June, and I felt the emptiest I've ever felt in my life. 4 years later, I'm still peeling back these layers and these masks of who I believed myself to be. That was just an identity and an illusion, right? So I was a wife, I was a mother, I was a firefighter, and all these things made me me.
You forgot basketball player.
I'm a basketball player.
2 thumbs up for every shaky breath.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 2 Thumbs Up podcast. Great to have you on this morning. I got my friend Mandi Jackson here today. Thanks for coming on the show. Good to see you.
Yes, no, thank you.
Yeah.
This is, I'm soaking all of this in right now. I'm just basking in this experience.
Yeah, good. We're grateful to have you. You asked me, we bumped into each other at the gym, and you only interacted maybe 2 or 3 times, including this morning. We saw each other at the gym. And you asked me if generally I know people that come on the podcast. I would say it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
And I love having conversations with people I truly have yet to, experience or know or have conversations with.
Yeah.
That makes it, it's always fun to learn things and experience things from someone else's life process. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So just a little background about yourself. What do you do? What is some of your life, experiences? Where'd you grow up?
Oh goodness, that's a lot. So I actually grew up in Riverton here in Utah. I went to Riverton High. Went to actually Hawaii for a year for school. Ended up walking on and played basketball for them for the year that I was there.
The U of H?
No, actually BYU.
Oh yeah, BYU Hawaii. Beautiful, yeah.
Yes. So I actually got an academic scholarship, and I was like, all right, I'm not playing ball, but I'll still go out, and if they're going to pay for everything. First week I'm there, somebody says, hey, tryouts are this week. You look like you play ball. You should try out. I called my mom. I was like, send me my basketball shoes.
Yeah,
She sent them in the mail. I tried out, made it. I played the year that I was there, and then came home for what was just supposed to be the summer to go back, and ended up not going back. We talk about how we plan and God laughs, So then I just kind of started my journey of, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I ended up in the fire department. So I was a firefighter for about 10 years. And recently... Did
you go through the whole training and you're like, okay, I want to be a fire person, firewoman, and so how did you decide that? Yes,
a great question, because I don't look like somebody who's worked in the fire department. But so I actually got on at the hospital at IMC doing registration in the ER. So I'm the person, or was the person, that would come in and say, hey, can I have your insurance card? Did your address change? Can you make your copay today? But in doing all of that, I got to see all of the traumas that came in IMC, and all of the firefighters that would bring in the traumas and their stories. We had to cut this guy out of the car. This is what happened. I just remember being in awe of, like, this is the experience that you guys just had with this patient. So I got very interested. And so I went for a ride along with Murray Fire Department. Loved it. Then I went to school. I thought maybe I'll just get my EMT. Loved that. Got my advanced so I could start IVs and, do all the other stuff, but not quite paramedic level, obviously. and then really liked that. And I didn't want to work for Gold Cross, who is just EMS.
Yeah, the ambulance service.
Yep. And so I went to West Valley and went through my recruit academy and got my fire certs and then started working.
What would you say? I mean, this interests me because, you had this experience. You're working in the hospital. You have this experience with these firefighters bringing these people in, and you said it fascinated you.
Yes.
What about it fascinated you?
I would say the adrenaline actually was what fascinated me, of just when they would give their report to the trauma doc, and when they pulled up, this is where the cars were on the freeway. It was, 4 vehicles were involved. This guy was hanging halfway out of the car. He was, appeared to be unrestrained. Just almost the adrenaline of that. And then the medical practice, like the care that happened afterwards that kept this guy alive to get him to the hospital where he's now sitting with us. I loved that aspect.
And as you experienced that adrenaline, that was interesting.
Yes.
What over time became the result? How did that shift? Because I've talked to a number of first responders and firefighters and military, and they talk about this piece, this adrenaline, this, oh my gosh. And it comes from a beautiful place of wanting to assist.
Yes.
And show up for people. But the other side of that, there's a whole nother world that sort of manifests. And the adrenaline fades.
Yes.
And then there's a different result oftentimes that occurs in someone's life.
Yes. And I think it has to be that way, right?
Yeah.
I remember even starting for the first little bit, I would just work 12 hours during the day. And then I started working 24s and 48s. And, when you sleep at the fire department and the tones go off in the middle of the night, for the first, I would say year, I had that jolt, like that adrenaline dump into my body, and I felt it in my heart. And that's the unhealthy part.
That's
right.
Yeah.
That's the unhealthy part about adrenaline. So that has to fade if you continue to do it, right? Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would be dead pretty shortly after starting a career like that. So the adrenaline has to fade in order for you to cope, basically. And so when that adrenaline fades and you don't get that surge anymore, a lot of people get bitter. A lot of people get, I knew of several people that I worked with that they were not even putting gloves on unless the call was significant enough to warrant them putting gloves on, right? It's just we're going to, pick somebody up off the ground in the middle of the night. I'm not going to get the adrenaline dump from that.
So where would you say then, having experienced this firsthand, the duality of that experience, the adrenaline rush, and then the sort of letdown, the, oh my gosh, where's the balance there? So, because being a firefighter, being a doctor, being a practitioner, being a police officer or a military person, there's that thing. And then all of a sudden you're in the thing. And over time, it's like, wait a second here. And it drops people, this adrenaline hit.
Yep.
Because it's somatic, it's also neuroplastic, it's also metabolic. You have this adrenaline dump, boom, adrenaline, boom, cortisol, sympathetic, let's go.
Yes.
Right? But then the body over time and the emotions drop into...
yes. When the tones go off in the middle of the night, it's like...
Yeah, where would you say... Where did you find the balance in that? You get my question?
In humanity. Yeah. For me, that's the part that I had to really take a look at. It's not like I'm getting out of bed for no reason. I'm getting out of bed if it's to pick up a lift assist. I worked in South Jordan for South Jordan Fire. We have a lot of nursing homes and assisted living facilities. I'm not just getting up out of bed to go pick up somebody. I'm getting out of bed to pick up someone's mom. I'm getting out of bed to pick up another soul that is just like me, that has gotten to this place where they can no longer pick themselves up off the ground in the middle of the night, or they hit their head walking to the bathroom, and they need our help. And so I think a lot of bitterness comes from almost that detachment of
And so
humanity.
You found detachment, though. You found purpose.
Yes.
Oh.
And you have to search for something like that. Otherwise, I do think you go down, it's a slippery slope down that path of bitterness and exhaustion and that worn outness that you get. Because it is tiring. It is. And after I resigned from the fire department and got a couple weeks worth of good sleep, I realized I have not felt like a human for a very long time. Because even your 4 days off when you sleep, you just don't recover.
So in the resigning, was there, can you share what that choice was like?
It was very difficult.
Like, what led to it?
A lot of stuff. I would say some unhealthy decisions, but also it was like a midlife crisis kind of year. If you can have a midlife crisis in your late 20s, early 30s.
Oh, you can have multiples.
Yes, I've been told.
You can have them.
Buckle up.
Hey, wait for it, right?
Yes, buckle up. You'll probably have more.
Exactly. Enjoy the ride. Right?
Yes.
So
I got divorced, and single momhood while working the fire schedule was extremely difficult. Trying to find somebody to watch my child, who was 1.5 at the time, 48 hours. So can somebody help me day and night watch my 1-year-old, while I'm at work, became a challenge.
And
significant challenge.
So you in your late 20s, you have this career change, this whole new life. And where'd you go from there? Like, what are you experiencing this time? You say midlife crisis. Mm-hmm. What's that? Because I know what you're saying. Here's what's interesting to me, Belle. This is why I love these conversations.
Yes,
because
please.
We say a phrase like that, midlife crisis, and we all like, oh yeah, I know. But do we? Yeah. I know what it meant as Todd having some of those.
Yeah.
But the truth is, when you say it, it was like everyone's like, oh yeah, I had one of those. It's probably like yours.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
Yeah.
Yours is perfectly unique to your life experience. And are you open to sharing like what it was like, the feelings, the emotion, the questions that came up, all of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was ultimately, I can look back now and say it was a peeling away of all of the identities that I had accumulated. That's what that year was. That's what that year started off and kicked off for me, because it's still happening. 4 years later, I'm still peeling back these layers and these masks of who I believed myself to be. That was just an identity and an illusion, right? So I was a wife, I was a mother, I was a firefighter, and all these things made me.
You forgot basketball player.
I'm a basketball player. Like, I'm a former collegiate athlete, right?
Yeah, right.
These are all the things that are me. And we hold on to these identities and think that this is what makes us us. And God has a beautiful way of sometimes reminding us. And I'm a pretty stubborn human being. And so I think even like a megaphone I don't hear the megaphone. So it's like, okay, I'm going to have to start taking stuff away, right? For you to realize that none of that is you. So that's what that year was. It was a kickoff of peeling away all of these layers of believing that I am actually still me, despite all of those things leaving that I thought were me.
I love it. And what are you discovering?
Oh, that is a very deep question and a beautiful one. I am discovering the me, that higher self, that God that lives in me, and that connectedness that I can have if I choose to and I practice. So that is what I am discovering, that nothing here, no amount of money that I make or an attachment to that or the cars or the homes. I mean, in having to sell my home in Harriman during the divorce, or shortly after the divorce, my ex wanted to buy a home with his new girlfriend, wanted to be off the mortgage, understandably so. So I sold my home, but I had just quit the fire department and started doing real estate at the time. So you asked kind of where that went. I had got my real estate license a couple years before that. And so that was kind of my fallback. Just like, all right, I've quit my job kind of spontaneously. Here I am. I have my real estate license. It's almost the beginning of a new year. Let's put all the chips on me this year and just let's build this business, see what happens. But when I go to sell my house, I don't have income anymore to prove to, go buy another house. Exactly. Yeah. So, but I'm like, I'm not going to let this stop me, and I'm not going to rent. So how do I do this? So I learned seller financing through that. And I bought this beautiful home in Daybreak, right on the lake. And it was just another identity, right? Of like, this is me. I'm a homeowner. I'm never going to be a renter, and I can do this by myself. And it was just, I was very much in my masculine and still kind of letting that fade away a little bit. But this is some of it that's coming through, during this time.
And so, you're having this experience, and you're to me, you're a fighter. You go for it.
Yeah.
And I see this balance. You're describing this balance that you're still outward creating, doing, being, the I got this thing.
Yes.
Right. Which is all beautiful characteristics.
Yes.
After talking and experiencing so many people in my life, to have those qualities is beautiful.
Yeah.
But the foundation, if the foundation is still ego.
Yes.
Have you experienced that result?
Yes.
However, if the foundation is I am who I am, and what's the result then of being so creative?
And that is what I am starting
Do
journey on.
you see my question? Because
Absolutely.
I know the ego, mine.
Yes.
There's nothing more ego than wanting to be a doctor, in my opinion.
Okay,
It's insanity.
I can see that. Yeah.
But yet there's this beautiful purpose behind it, as I seek who I am.
Yeah.
See? And then there's passion and commitment and ideas and free-flowing energy. And, hey, we could do this. We could create this. And we could assist people with brain injury. And look how exciting that. Hey, let's start up all. You see what I'm saying? It's a different come from.
Yes.
So I would love to know your experience with the ego creativity of you and the I am creativity of you. Because I know you know both. You're experiencing both.
Yes.
Do you get my question?
Yes, absolutely. You can do the same thing, but the why is what's important.
Foundational.
Right? The why I'm doing something. I could be doing the same thing today as I did yesterday, but my why today is based on I am versus yesterday based in ego. I have to have because I lack.
Can you share with us the results you experiencing those two dualities?
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. In the ego, I jump into this new world of real estate, and I had not been full-time in this. I did it kind of like on my days off, friends and family, my own deals. And now here I am, like, I'm going to build a business around this. It's perfect. I can stay home with my daughter. I can, do all of the things.
I can go to the gym.
There. I can go to the gym when I want to. Exactly. So, I thought this plan sounded great. And then I get into it and I start getting caught up in the rat race, right? Of let's do the vision boards and what do you want? And, if you don't have pictures of the mansion and the cars on your vision board, you're not doing it right. There's almost just this expectation of like, hey, we're going to give you your goals as just an industry. And this is what everybody should want. And they don't say that, obviously, but it's almost that. What if my vision board looks different than theirs? And what if my number that I say, in training, how much do you want to earn this year? What if my number is less than theirs? And now we're building like the amount of listings and the amount of buyers that we have to have in order to make, none of that made sense to me. And it kind of felt icky.
Can I ask you another question before you?
Yes.
How did it feel inside your body? What was the physiological, metabolical experience you had when you were from that space? Did you recognize anything that was happening with you?
Not at the time, because like most people at that time, I lived from here up, like very detached from my body, very detached from how my emotion, like we talk about emotional IQ and the response time, it was not existent, right? It took me a long time, even years, for me to recognize that was the emotion I was experiencing at that time, but I didn't recognize it because I was so detached. So I would say a lot of that was it was chasing. It was like being the hamster on the wheel, right? Where I'm just chasing because I lack something. I'm waking up early every day chasing something because I'm not enough the way that I am. That was the foundational feeling that I can look back and say, yes, that was my motivating factors of just, I'm not enough. I have bills to pay. I have to prove myself. I have to prove my worth. I have to show people and look and appear to be successful in order for people to want to use me as a real estate agent, for people to take me seriously, for people to believe in me, whatever it is, that was all going through. But that was the underlying why.
I get it.
During that time.
And thank you, honestly, for sharing that piece, because as you've moved through this process, and you're still in this process of this beautiful process, this metamorphosis, this realization, this divine remembering, right? All these beautiful things, right? But to share the stuff that got you here, to this chair, to this conversation, to this day, is actually the beautiful story.
Yes.
Behind the remembering. Yes.
Yes.
And so as you went through that, where was the pinnacle or depth, would you say, of, I got to do this different.
Yes.
I got to do me different. Can you share that with us a little
bit?
Yeah.
So I resigned from the fire department December of 2022. So like I said, brand new year, January 2023, it's like, all right, this is my first year in real estate. I have all these goals. I'm going to the classes and they're telling me what to do. They're telling me how to do my vision board. My goal this year is I'm going to make more money than I did last year in the fire department. And the year before, I had made about $66,000 in the fire service. I made that the next year in real estate by June. And so I'm like, man, I'm cruising. I mean, I'm living high, right? I'm doing all the deals. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I'm busy and I feel like I'm happy and this is what I should want. I get to the end of the year. I just about crest 6 figures, and I'm sitting there looking at all of my spreadsheets and looking at the money that I've made and where did it, half of that go already. And I felt so empty. I had superseded my goal. I had met my goal by June. And I felt the emptiest I've ever felt in my life. I sat there sitting in my office, alone in my home, because I remember my daughter was at her dad's, so I had a lot of alone
in the new
time.
Beautiful one on the lake.
No, I was still in
Yeah.
my Harriman home actually at the time. But my daughter was at her dad's, and I just sat in that empty house and realized I made more money. I should be happy about this, and I'm not. This actually makes me feel worse. And so that was a reckoning moment of like, money is not the answer. This is not it. This isn't going to make me happy. And I can keep doing this and I could double next year. And I guarantee I'm going to get to the end of the year and feel as empty.
What do you suppose is empty about it? What is it? Because you can be a billionaire and still feel lonely. Even Elon Musk a couple weeks ago, he posted something on X about, and I think he was being vulnerable in that moment, but he said even billionaires can be lonely. Yeah. And what is it about that? What is it? Like, because abundance is amazing. Yes. Yes. It's a beautiful gift from source, right? It's like, oh my gosh. Yes. And we equate that. There's this thing that I love to consider called the Wu-Wei. It's the dance of the Wu-Wei, the effortless action, it's the space where nothing but there's everything. Yes. Okay. And so you have this experience of great productivity and abundance. Yes. But to come from foundationally, the why wasn't who you are.
Yeah. It was coming from lack.
And when you experience abundance, you still feel lack. So talk to us about the other side of that experience, because there is a space between the dualities of yin and yang that I call the creative essence line.
Okay.
And so in the Ue, it's the dance, the creative essence line. You get me?
Yeah.
Can you see the line?
Yeah.
So you're dancing on this side.
Yes.
And sometimes we dance way out here into the really ego.
Yes.
But then we can dance way over here into the pacifist, I don't care.
Yes.
I'm just going to go up in the mountains and, live in a hut.
Yes. It's the pendulum, right? We can have extremes.
However, creation, the creative essence line, is the dance between the two. And in the in Taoism, it talks about the Ue, either side of that line, and I can see that you're doing this. This is why I'm bringing this up, and it's interesting to me, okay? The essence line between the yin and the yang, that line right there, the Tao talks about it being about 4 ounces of pressure on your eyeball.
Okay.
Before it hurts. That's the dance. Because if I dance way out here and I'm pretty salty and I'm very ego and I'm very, or I dance way over here, I'm super pacifist and I'm just gonna, it's the same result.
Yeah.
But to do the dance and be an authentic creator.
Yes.
And celebrate your abundance.
Be prepared for it.
And expect it.
Yes.
Because that's who you are.
Yes.
Not in ego, but in I am so blessed. See,
Yes.
It's to me. I love these little paradoxes because I can see them, and I can see that you're doing this, and I love it. So thank you for being vulnerable with us.
Yeah.
And it's super exciting to me because you're having this realization about you that it's not in the how much.
Yeah.
It's in the how come. It's like, wait, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's who I am.
Yeah.
And I get goosies because it's a whole different experience.
I call them truth bumps.
Yeah.
It's just when your body recognizes truth, it's like,
what do you see about that? And maybe I wasn't.
No, I got your question.
Yeah.
I believe that we are a container for God's light and love, and He wants to give us way more than we even want or know how to receive. But we are we're this container. And if we have not built the container, the spiritual container of tapping into that I am, anytime we get wealth, it's going to feel like a surge of pressure. So if we're a light bulb and we're a 60-watt light bulb, because that's the container that we've built and that's the connection that we have, the level of connection we have with Source or our Creator, and we get 1,000 watts sent to us, we're going to short circuit. That's why people that win the lottery, they don't have the container to hold that amount of energy, because money is energy, right? I believe that you believe that. Money is energy. And if you get a surge of money and energy, you will short circuit and you will destroy your life. It typically becomes way more detrimental than beneficial for somebody to get a surge of money. We see it with athletes, like professional athletes. So this container in all aspects of our lives needs to be built. So we have like the container for financial capacity. So I believe when we put our own value and us looking for that I am in anything external from ourselves, we're going to be disappointed because we're never going to find it out there, right? We came to this earth with being a puzzle completed, but yet we think that we're missing pieces and we have to go out and find them and we have to take them from people. It's not the case at all. And so when you start to go out and look for them in other places that they're not, you always end up disappointed and you always end up feeling that emptiness, I believe.
I can see that. And what's interesting to me about what you're saying is there's been great masters that have spoken and said, it has already been finished. It is finished. I am finished. I am finished before I began.
Yeah.
And so you have this vessel, this container, there's a vessel. And what I know about vessels is it's not about the clay. It's about the space.
Yes.
That holds the water, holds the truth, the I am. So you hear these phrases in antiquities and different places where it's like the vessel, the one that the spirit within. Yeah. And so I love the phrase that the idea that the kingdom of God is within me.
Yes.
And so from that space, I am the vessel.
Yes.
And from there, I can see that you now celebrate your abundance.
Yes.
Because it's not coming from outside of you. It's coming from within you. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'm not going out thinking that I'm missing puzzle pieces and that I have to get them in a certain dollar amount in my bank account, and I have to get it in a certain spouse, right? My kids have to be a certain way. I have to physically look a certain way. Like, I'm not trying to gather these puzzle pieces because my puzzle is complete. I came that way.
Music to my soul. Thank you. Yeah,
yes,
for that. Yeah.
Yes. So coming from a place of I am complete and everything else is I'm just here to experience. God sent me here not to get a ton of money to put in my bank account. God sent me here to have experiences, to feel emotions, and to absorb, learn, grow, expand that vessel so that I could become a bridge to bring down more of his light into this 3D realm. And as we all start to do that more and more, and I believe like collectively we have this growing consciousness of that, right? More people are waking up and bringing more light, then it just it balances all of the negativity in the world, and it becomes this beautiful dance.
And as you describe that, I can see the expansiveness. And what I do know is when something expands, God's love expands. It expands in infinite dimensions.
Yes.
It's like this all-encompassing, radiant, vulnerable, courageous, loving, expressive, all of these things that we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's joyful.
Yes.
Have you experienced joy from this process?
Yes.
That you're walking?
Moments in meditation, because I started meditating when shortly after this moment of despair and just like emptiness, like that doesn't feel anything like I thought it would feel at the end of the year. I started looking for more. Money can't be the answer. There's got to be something else. So I started meditating. I used an app at first, because I'm ADHD, 5 minutes by myself was really difficult, right? And so I started with even just like with an app that walked me through it. But in that practice, I have found moments of being where I just become pure light.
I love it.
And pure like bliss. It's something that you can't even describe if you've experienced it. You can't even articulate it in words.
What would you say? Because I'm going to ask you a question about meditation.
Yeah.
Because we use there's differing words, right? What
Yes.
would you say for you is the difference between meditation and prayer? Do you see?
Yes.
Because both are essentially seeking something, the truth, the I am, the
Yes.
connection, yes.
Yes.
What would you say the difference is for you? Or
I
are they the same?
believe that they are slightly different. Prayer, I've actually started to pray out loud because I believe there's power in speaking the words. And I actually have started to feel it. I've started to feel it like almost as immediately when I start. I can feel my crown chakra kind of like opening up. I just feel this connection when I have started to pray out loud. So a prayer to me is a conversation, because I do take time to speak, to listen, to be, to speak again, to listen, to be. So it is kind of this, I would say, almost two-way radio style. And meditation to me is I'm connecting within. And I've actually started praying to within a little bit more instead of praying to God up in the sky. I've started praying and directing it inward. And it's amazing the difference that has made. But I would say meditation for me is more of a stillness and a quietness, whereas prayer is more of a worship.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's perfect. What I hear you saying is one is a listening.
Yes.
And one is a connecting or a communicating, to
Yes.
commune, to
Yes.
speak. And words are musical.
Oh, yes.
我今天很高兴看到你。我今天很高兴看到你。In Chinese, I am very grateful to see you today. It's harmonic.
Yes.
Lily's papa was on the show, the podcast, who had only met that day, maybe one other time, a long time ago. He is a Samoan king.
Wow.
And I'm going to get emotional. I asked him to speak in his language. And he said some beautiful words. And I don't remember the words, but I remember the feeling.
Yes.
It was music. And so as I asked you the question about prayer and meditation, what I heard you say and what I experienced you saying was, I speak to sing my song.
Yeah.
And I meditate to listen to I am. See, and so you reminded me of Lily's papa. And I'm like, oh yeah, when Mandi speaks, she speaks her music.
Yeah.
And when she meditates, she listens for God's response or the I. See, is that what you're describing?
Yes. And going off of the music analogy, it's like playing the piano. But I only have my right hand and God is the left hand. And sometimes it's okay for me to play solo with the right and then listen for him to play with the left. And then as we start to do that more and more back and forth, then we can start to play together at the same time. And it's just this constant. And that for me is my new goal of just having this constant where it's not, I'm taking time out of my day, which I still do and love, to play the right hand and then listen for the left.
I love it.
But I would love more of just like, hey, we're communing all day, every day, and we have this constant connection and we're both playing together.
And so we're having this conversation about this. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
And I thank you for being open to sharing that.
Yeah.
There's this thing that happens, and I've experienced it today, and you've experienced inside the body, where there's a nervous system response. The breath slows down. The heart rate becomes synchronous.
Yeah.
There's a lub-dub, 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 a flow.
Yes.
There's a relaxation. Everything, as you experience these things, you get a parasympathetic response.
Yeah.
Where I can breathe. I trust, I know. Oh, how's that feel with inside me? Well, I can feel my heartbeat, and it's powerful. I actually feel my blood flow. So I know you in your life, you do some breath work and some.
Yes.
And what happens as someone shares, like you share, there's an energy where everyone just slows down.
Yes.
Their bodies relax. My body relaxes.
Yes.
And it's within and without. It fills a room. It fills a space. It fills the vessel. It's the water in the vessel.
Yeah.
And so as you are practicing your breath work and learning, I know you just recently went to Sedona, had a great experience down there.
Yes.
What are you learning about your breathing?
Oh, that I have not been breathing most of my life. And obviously we all do, because we wouldn't be here if we weren't breathing. But that it was never full and it was never conscious. I believe there is so much power in just taking conscious breaths. We, as adults, take about 21,000 breaths a day. And I ask people all the time, how many of those do you remember yesterday? Most people are like, none. But the consciousness of going to the breath is what takes us out of our fight or flight, which we are constantly in. Even if we don't have and feel like we're in this big spike, it's just kind of this low level. Our nervous system is like tight, right? We just kind of feel anxious all the time. And it's just this slow undercurrent always there. When we take time to be with our breath, that dissolves. And when that dissolves, we actually turn off that system, that sympathetic system, and go into the parasympathetic, like you said, that is where healing can happen. Healing cannot happen in a sympathetic state, especially when you're constantly in it all the time. I tell people it's like a battleship. Have you ever seen like a battleship being refueled during wartime, like during imminent battle? No, you can't restock when you're always in war. When your body's always in fight or flight, you can't heal. You can't fix the stuff on the boat that needs to be fixed. You can't refuel. You can't feed your soldiers, right? People are at their battle stations. And when your soldiers are at their battle stations all the time, that's why we have this constant fatigue and this constant illness and just this low-lying anxiety in all of our lives.
And what would you say some of the causes of what I call sympathetic overload are in our... What were some of the causes of sympathetic overload in your life experience?
Distraction and constant noise.
Noise.
I do feel like me in particular and culturally, we just have this nasty habit of always needing something on. You can watch people who will go home, turn the TV on, sit on their laptop and be scrolling through their phone all the same. Like there's so much happening. And we've just generalized that as like normal. Well, I'm doing work on my laptop because I have to do work. And then, I get stuck scrolling on social media and I got a Netflix on in the back.
Yeah.
That's become so constant and we don't give ourselves a break from noise. And then we get in our car and we turn we turn our phone on to Spotify or we turn the radio on. When do we have time for silence? When do we have time for being? And
as a result of all of those things, people oftentimes don't even consider what the silence sounds like.
Most people are scared of it.
Yeah, because they want to fill the chaos with more avoidance.
Yes.
We do. I told you this. We do concussion pros here, and
yes.
There's all of those things out there, but there are things that damage the nervous system as well. Brain injury, trauma, alcoholism, drug. Yeah. All of those things create inflammatory processes in the nervous system, which is a chronic state of sympathetic overload, right? And so I feel like it's also, and all those things you said are absolutely true about all the things going on in our environment externally, but there's also a piece of this where it can be an injury situation, and the nervous system is out of a harmonic space, and so breath work, like you're doing, truly can assist those folks as well. It's not just that you've had emotional trauma and things happening in your life that created chaos, so to speak, but also trauma.
Yes.
Physical, emotional, mental, neurological,
Absolutely.
metabolical.
Everything.
It's even interesting to me that what we eat can create a sympathetic response that continues to fuel our nervous system to not be at peace.
Correct.
So how does breath work assist with all of that, would you say?
Yes. It is a beautiful... To me, it is like prayer. It is like meditation. If you've ever heard of healing codes.
Oh, yeah. I've got that.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I've got it here somewhere.
Yep. So those are my 4 that I say
chiropractor, by the way.
Are the are the biggest things that will help with anything you have going on. Because I do believe that everything that we do have going on, whether that be physical, whether that be emotional, it all comes from an energetic place initially. And so we talk about the external noises just now, but there is the energetic gunk that we've built up. So the emotional trauma, the wounds that we carry with us, typically from childhood, right? And we get some as we go along in adulthood, but breath work, what it does and what it allows is when you take time out of that environment, and then even more so, you take time out of the physiological stuff that's going on, and not only to take space away from maybe what's hurting right now, but to focus on the breath brings you back to this place. Like I said, most people live from here up. So when you start to become aware of your breath and you start to sit with your breath and you make a practice of breathing. And breath work, there's so many different words for breath work, just like somebody will say God, and it means something different to everybody. There's so much breath work and different styles of practices. My style that I do is called rebirthing, and that is because it is truly a rebirthing process. You become anew through this process. So it's not, I do, 10 minutes in the morning of breath work. It is a full session where we lay down and you get to be in your own little cocoon. We put an eye mask on, you have a blanket, a pillow, and you get to breathe in this certain pattern. And you get to fill your body with this chi, with this source, right? And you get to focus on that. When you do, you bring more awareness, more healing to your body. You pull yourself out of sympathetic. You turn your immune system back on. And that switch, and the more you practice that, the more your body can do what it's meant to do in healing all of those physical things, healing those emotional things. Every single response in breathwork is welcomed. We have people that cry. We have people that get angry. It is all a release of something that we didn't release at the time because we weren't aware of that emotional response that was happening in us. We shoved it down, and now it's created this blockage that then creates other issues, whether they're physical, whether they're emotional, whether they're bad patterns, and how I attract a mate, and I keep seeming to date the same kind of guy, even though they're different guys. All of that.
Oh, is there something there?
Right. No. I'm just saying all of that, right, is based on this energetic buildup that we have. And that's what breathwork does, is it releases and it gives us time and space to be with that, release it. And I had Danny yesterday, I believe, in a session, and he was telling me about a pain he had. And I said, well, let's give it to the breath. Let's see what happens. And at the end of a session, I asked how it was. He's like, gone. It was a physical pain. He believed it to be probably coming from someplace energetic because he's in tune enough with his body. He's like, I didn't injure it, but I got this flank pain. And afterwards, he said, it's gone. So even stuff like that, injuries.
As you're describing that, I keep hearing the phrase, I am the breath of life. I am the breath of life. And there's Master Jesus said that. Yeah. And it's like, oh, is it possible that all the answers have always been within? Absolutely. Breathing is there's this assumption, I think, made by many, until you've discovered some of the things you're describing, where we all just breathe the same. We've got we got lungs and we breathe. But what I've come to realize, and this is the question I asked you, was, what is it like for you to breathe?
Oh, yes.
Because I know this about, I just know this. Everyone breathes uniquely. There's no two that breathe the same. No. We may anatomically say, well, you've got lungs and you've got a heart, and well, wait a second here. What's actually the truth? The truth is, you're as divinely unique as anything that's ever existed. And so is Lily, and so is Todd. Okay, what does that say then? Was it possible that I actually breathe uniquely to my experience? And that you breathe uniquely to your experience. That's why I love to ask the question, what does it feel like for you to breathe? Yeah. And it to me, it brings a unique quality to the experience. Like, oh, is it possible that God loves me so much that I get to have a divinely unique experience called Todd, including my breathing? Yeah. To me, that's an expansive question or possibility, as opposed to, yeah, man, we both have lungs and we probably do it the same. And, no, but Danny yesterday, he had a physiological response, a biomechanical response, a response to a breathing experience that was unique to him. Yes. So that tells me something. He breathes unique to him.
Absolutely.
So what's it feel like for you to breathe?
It used to feel, now I can look back and think, now that I know different and have experienced different, so shallow. My breathing was so shallow and unconscious. Now my breathing is very conscious, especially when I can start to feel things rising up. Like we all have that moment of, or I'm starting to get slightly uncomfortable. Maybe somebody's brought up a topic that has hurt me in the past, or I have a wound that it's reminding me of, especially in those moments is when I really tune in to the breathing. So breathing has become way more conscious for me, and it's become deeper. And I have just recently, actually in Sedona 2 weekends ago, realized most of my life I was breathing the same way I was living, which was to avoid my triggers, which was to avoid pain. Almost like a ping pong ball. I'm kind of ping ponging around to avoid the triggers and the things that I don't want to talk about and the things that I don't want to experience because of past experiences, right? We kind of all do that. We kind of avoid the uncomfortable. Well, I was breathing the same way. I was breathing to avoid the uncomfortableness in my own body. And so now I'm opening that up, learning to breathe in an expansive way and like filling up this space that hasn't been filled for a very long time.
What does that feel like?
First, it was uncomfortable. It has been uncomfortable. Just like this place that I left dormant for so long. Experiencing those spaces of just like kind of that closet you haven't opened in years is how it kind of feels. Opening that closet of just like, man, I don't even know what's in here. I'm kind of scared to find out what's going to be in here. Like it's going to be stuff I don't want to see. It's stuff I don't want to deal with. It's going to have dust and mold, whatever, that there was that uncomfortableness. But just like waking up into this consciousness, we're scared of the silence and we're scared of being alone. But when we meet it, we realize it's nothing to be scared of. It's parts of us that just wanted to be loved. And I think our breathing, I think, mimics a lot of that in our life, or reflects that, is a mirror for that. We breathe, like you said, based on our experiences and based on this clay form that we've made also gets made with our lungs.
Yeah.
So opening up these new spaces in my lungs and in my breathing, I realized like I had kind of like a hitch almost right here.
Did you even notice how the resistance in your diaphragm?
Yes,
it's
the hitch.
Fascinating to me, the vagus nerve and the innervation of that. But what happens was my experience before I started doing my own stuff with breathing.
Yeah.
Was that there was like adhesions.
Yep.
In my diaphragm from being resistant.
The shallow breathing, you're only breathing
and
here.
Hiatal hernias and gastroesophageal sphincter problem, la 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 la.
Yeah.
But that's all. It's like resistance right there. It's an energetic resistance, and as you're describing this expansiveness, right, deeper, fuller.
Yes.
Those adhesions dissipate. There's rhythm and balance. And, it's interesting to me that the autonomic nervous system does all of these beautiful things. Beats my heart, divides my cells.
Yep.
It oxygenates my blood, but it also controls my breathing. The autonomic nervous system, there's a choice. Breathing is the one mechanism within the autonomic nervous system that God gives me a choice, and I give myself a choice. But I go unconscious. It just still does it. It keeps me alive. But as you have become conscious to your breathing, how has that shifted your life? Because now you have a choice. I get to breathe.
Yes.
And I breathe beautifully unique. Unlike any other being that's ever breathed air, I breathe it uniquely.
Yes.
And how's that shifted your life?
I'm much more patient. It has helped me go from reactive states to very, I would say, proactive states, especially when it comes to my daughter. I got a beautiful 5-year-old. I love her to death. we're in lots of phases right now where we're stubborn, where we're particular, where we refuse to get dressed. I don't like that shirt. It doesn't feel right. The pockets don't feel, we're going through these phases. And before, I would have lost my mind. And now I come to the breath when I'm starting to feel that irritation come up, and it brings me back to that I am. Like, I am greater than this experience. This is an experience. And I am so grateful and blessed that I get to experience this thing that we call life. But that's all that it is. It's just a blip in time. It's a blip in eternity. And my conscious breathing brings me back to that. It's not a big deal. We're going to be late to school because nothing feels right this morning. And that's going to be okay. We're going to be okay when we get to school late. Nothing bad is going to happen. Whereas before, it was so different.
And what do you see as a potential result of this in her life?
Yes, so much. Actually, I went to parent-teacher conference 2 weeks ago, and she's like, I wanted to share a couple things with you. So we did an assignment the other day, and I had all the kids write down 2 things that they were good at and 2 things that they felt they could work on and grow with. And she said, I know I'm good at being a good friend. And the second one was, I know I'm good at loving myself. I thought that was pretty significant for a 5-year-old. And things that I could improve on. I can be better at sharing, because she's an only child, so we have sharing problems. But the second one was, I can do better at breathing when I'm angry.
I love it.
For a 5-year-old. She's telling her teacher this. And then her teacher said, and I just wanted to share with you, after this conversation, or after she turned in her assignment and I talked to her about it, she goes, yeah, I can feel my chakras are just not aligned.
She's 5.
She's 5.
Bless her beautifulness. Yeah.
And so she's like, I can just feel my chakras are not aligned. Or she said something like that. And so she's like, I just want to make you aware, like, I don't know what you do for work, but you must be teaching her something. So this is coming out in my 5-year-old daughter's, life every day. She's starting to recognize, like, hey, I need to take some deep breaths. I'm starting to get really frustrated that kid just took my toy. So it's showing up there. And I also believe that I'm not just experiencing this journey and this new growth for me. I believe she has something divine that she's meant to do, and she needs to learn this really young.
Yeah.
That's the intuition that I've gotten of, I'm going through this right now so that she doesn't have as big of a learning gap as we did, right? When it's like, I've lived most of my life unconscious, and now I'm starting to wake up, and now I have all this stuff to learn. My prayer is that she'll grow up knowing certain things already.
She'll have some beautiful tools to navigate this life.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Yeah, we should, what I'd love to call this one is, this podcast is I Am the Breath of Life, because that's what keeps coming to me, like this breathing, there's no accident that was spoken.
Yeah.
Because is it possible that he knew something about himself, and the source from which he sprang, and the message that he was here to share. And
I'm going to share something with you. In that dance of my right hand and, playing with the left hand, in one of my prayers lately, I wanted to know for myself what kind of God is. There's so many different beliefs. God is like this almighty, being that sits on a throne and basically dictates humanity. And there's a God that's very detached and doesn't have anything to do with daily life. And then there's the God that's very involved with daily life as, for us humans. And I wanted to know, like, what is your extent? And that's kind of what I asked. I said, what is your extent to your involvement of our everyday life? And in the listening aspect of my prayer, I got, I am with you as deeply as you have every single breath. Like, I am with you in every breath. And of course, I'm going through breath work, and I'm starting to facilitate. And then knowing that every breath that we take is source, is God. And he is with us, as involved as even our autonomic nervous system.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Oh, I love these conversations.
Yes. Me too.
Thank you, love, for coming on the show today.
Yes, no,
what
thank
a gift.
you.
Seriously, this has been, I love it. This is why I love the podcast. Like, I love these conversations because it just feels like infinite possibilities open.
Yes.
And thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for having the courage to share.
Yes.
And come back sometime. We'll do it again.
Absolutely. You just say when.
Yeah, I will. And we'll chat about it. But could you share, you're doing breath work.
Yes.
Tell us, do you have, do you want people to follow you on your social media stuff?
Oh,
do you
yeah.
want to throw that out there? That's plus, and we can tag it on our when we post the
Perfect.
podcast. But.
Yes. So my business is Vivier Breathwork. Vivier meaning to live, to experience life, and
Spell
also it is Viviere, and it's slightly changed from the traditional Latin spelling because my daughter's name is Vivian. So Vivian and Vivier, I kind of blended those together. It was beautiful. Just came together. But Vivier Breathwork, and I'm at Salsano Health and Wellness in Draper.
Salsano. Okay.
Yep, Salsano. And my Instagram is Mandi with an I and then Jaxon. So Mandi Jackson.
Mandi Jackson.
So you can go follow me, and I post lots of stories about it and kind of tag my my scheduler through Salsano, so you can just go in and book if you want, or you can DM me and book that way. So we'll find a time if you're interested.
Come find a time.
Yes. Yeah. So
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, love. This has been so fun, and we'll do it again.
Yeah. Thank
Guys,
you.
we love you. Thanks for tuning up into the 2 Thumbs Up podcast. Just a reminder, we have a new location in Layton for Concussion Pros. We're in Murray. We're still down here in Pleasant Grove. But we love you. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you down the road. Thank you.